All right, hi everyone. I have a few mobile controllers here I'm going to be talking about, and we'll be comparing them. All right, so the first one I have here is the ELO Vagabond. The ergonomics of it are pretty good for the price. I do feel like sometimes it's a little hard to aim in first-person shooters with the right stick placement here, depending on if I'm sitting down or laying in bed. When I'm laying in bed, it's a bit difficult. If I'm just sitting down and I have this on my lap, it's not too bad. The sticks are very smooth, and they click in. Same thing on the other one. The buttons, if they're not mechanical, they definitely sound mechanical. And what I like about this one that stands out from the others is that it has back buttons. And the back buttons could be locked, so you can't use them. Accidentally press it when you don't want to use it. So I have an iPad mini in here. All these controllers I have, and again, that's the Gamesir G8 Plus, the ELO Vagabond, and the Razer Kishi Ultra. They all fit tablets up to the size of an iPad mini. The last thing I want to talk about the ELO is the software, and it unfortunately is not that great. So to get to it, well, first you install from the App Store, but then you click on that purple button there and it brings you here. It has some honestly pretty horrible menu music, which I turned off. And then it shows you games which are compatible, which is nice, but there's no way that I could figure out to get your games on a home page. Like, I do see a library section here, and it says your library is empty. To add a game, press the bookmark button, but I don't see where to do that. I can't do from the home screen on the iPad, and I don't see where my games are here. So I guess I would need to like install a game here. Oh yeah, and then mark it as a favorite. So if your game isn't listed in this app, it can't be added to the library as far as I'm aware. In this app, you could also customize the button mapping, calibrate the sticks. These are Hall effect sticks. It's the only one out of these devices that has Hall effect sticks. Update the firmware and the LED brightness. Yeah, so there's LEDs around the sticks, both sticks. And I'll show you. Okay, so that's the first notch up, and it goes all the way up to the top, which is kind of bright. A little too bright for me, especially when playing in a darker room. And that's the ELO Vagabond. It has a pretty good D-pad. On my unit, these two buttons are switched, and I don't know why. I emailed support, and they weren't able to fix it. So there's that. And another con about this controller is if you're playing an Xbox Game Pass game, if you're streaming it, there's no physical button that will bring up the Xbox guide menu. All right, so that's all I have for that one. The next one I have here is the Gamesir G8 Plus. This one connects with Bluetooth. The other one connected with USB Type-C. This is the only one of the ones I'm speaking about today that uses Bluetooth. The ergonomics of this, it feels a little bit smaller compared to the ELO. In this hand, it feels pretty good, right? But if you're playing, for the stick, I mean, if you're playing a platformer or a fighting game and you prefer the D-pad, if you have larger hands, or I think I have regular size man hands, I would find this to be a little rough to use primarily. And I did find it to be slightly difficult when aiming first-person shooters, because in the default position, my thumb is reaching over here, so I would need to like scrunch up my thumb. Something cool about this controller, though, let me put this here, is that the face plates come off. Like the faceplates come off, and you could remove the sticks, and it comes with a bunch of different sticks, about 4 sticks. There's a higher stick, a lower stick, one that's small, like a little nub, and then there's this one that kind of reminds me of an N64 stick. So let me put that back. I don't know if they sell separate plates. If they did, that'd be nice. There's a Gamesir app where you could, similar to the other app, where you could update the firmware and calibrate the buttons and the sticks and such and remap the buttons. There is no library function that I could find, at least on the iOS version. It looks like there's a section for it, but it says it isn't functional, which is strange. You can also take out these buttons and change them around if you want to go from Xbox layout to Nintendo layout or any other layout you like. This button, the Gamesir button, will function as an Xbox guide button when you are playing Game Pass, which is a very nice thing, which the other controller did not. This one also has a back button. I apologize, I may have said before the other one was the only one that had a back buttons. This one does as well. It doesn't have the locks though. And it expands, again, up to the size of an iPad mini. This also works with Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. I did use it with the Switch 2. It's pretty good. The way you change the Bluetooth modes is you press this button right here, and the different systems coordinate with different buttons. So you would hold this button, and it would do different things. Well, that's better. Should have done that from the beginning. All right, so that's that controller. Again, it's not a bad controller. I just don't feel like it's the most ergonomic, but the build quality is very solid. Depending on the size of your hands, this may be the best one for you. It is the cheapest of the 3. All right, the last one and the most expensive one that I have here is the Razer Kishi Ultra. Same thing as the others. It fits up to an iPad mini, 6 and 7, same size. It does not fit a Nintendo Switch because it uses USB Type-C here. It comes with different rubber guards. I don't have them in right now, but different rubber guards to fit different types of cases. The ELO had that as well. This is, I believe, the most comfortable one of the 3. It feels very good in the hand for me. It feels very, very good. I think it's the grips. The grips feel very good. This is also the most premium feeling controller. The D-pad is very good. It's very clicky. The buttons do not come out like the Gamesir, but again, very clicky, very solid controller. Right here is the Razer button. It'll bring up the Razer launcher. I'll show that to you. Let me take the iPad out of the other controller. Okay, that's in. So I'm going to press this button. Okay. All right, so this is the home menu where you can add your own games to this menu, which is very useful. Oh, this keeps pumping up the volume because I don't have a guard in. So I should have a guard in here to prevent the volume rocker from being pressed, but I don't have anything playing, so I'm going to leave that. So here are some games, some recommended games, and then at the top you can add your own game library, which is very nice. And then like the ELO and the Gamesir, you can customize the controller, you can remap it. And this one, like the ELO, it does have lights, but this has different colors. The ELO only had purple. You have different effects here, and you could also change the brightness. So that was about a little lower than medium, and then this is max. All right. You also change the lighting to turn off if it's too distracting while you're playing. I personally could take it or leave it. I really don't care. This one does not have back buttons, which is a shame because I like back buttons, especially for shooters. The version 3 of this controller does have back buttons. I may make another video on that. That one is coming in shortly. This one does have an additional button, well, 2 buttons on top, right here and right here. I'm not really a fan of it because on console, that isn't a button that's usually there, so it feels weird to go and use it. Let's see, is there anything else? No, that's really it. Yeah, so this one currently, the Razer is $150. As of making this video, the Gamesir is $80. And the ELO is $100. Something to note is the ELO does have a headphone jack. I missed this before. It has a headphone jack and and you could charge your phone through here. The Razer also has a headphone jack and a charging port. And the Gamesir is the only one that will need to charge on its own because it doesn't feed off the power of the device that you're using. Yeah, and that is that. All right, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, you know the deal. Thank you very much.